there. If we change our viewpoint draw type mode to textured, now Blender takes the image and maps it over and shows us in our 3D view what that image looks like. I'm going to turn off my little helper dandy transform manipulator widget so you can better see the image. Now, as you can see, it's great, but it's mapped on its side, and unfortunately you only have about a 1 in 4 chance of hitting it right. So if we go back into UV face select mode and press R with our cursor in the 3D view, we want to rotate our UV coordinates. So we click this option right there, and it rotates it 90 degrees clockwise. So if we press R again and click, and R again and click, now the image is oriented the way that we want it to be oriented. And now we can also see it in the 3D view. So let's go back to our model view, because that gives us the biggest view that we have of the image. Go back to object mode and textured. So now for this face layout, we have our image ready to go. I'm going to turn off my helper widget. Each of these settings, all these settings are per screen layout. So when you change screen layout, you have to make everything consistent. And put away our transform properties, because we're pretty much done with that. So now if we switch to, let's say we're at 800 by 600, let's switch to PC presets, 640 by 480. And if you hit F12, you've now taken this super high def picture and you have converted it to a 640 by 480 sized image. However, now you can see that it needs to be cropped a little bit. There's a lot of extra dead white space. Her eyes are not centered up on the image, so we need to do a little bit of cropping on this baby. And also, when we do the cropping and we move the image up, we're going to have dead space down here, so we have to zoom in a little bit as well. And we'll go into all of that and how to do all of that in the next tutorial. For this tutorial, I just wanted to show you how to set up your basic flying camera technique. Let's go ahead and save this rig for future use by creating a file and saving it as a library. And we'll use this blend file to save all of these handy dandy rigs that we're coming up with throughout this video tutorials. You're now ready to proceed on to the next set of videos that talk about how to distort and use the camera to do all the crops, the rotations. I mean, you can see that just since we have a plane in front of the camera, obviously if we just pressed R now and rotated it and we animated that, we'd be able to do the old turntable effect that you saw in the old Batman series. So you can do a lot. This is a very flexible rig, and we'll be going through this in the future.